Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Welcome back to the movie graveyard. Goat rolling with this homeboy Zach, or I should call him Little Zach. Little Zach, what's going on?
Exactly, little nut Zach, if you will. We decided we fucking grave digging again, baby. We got some more shovels and fucking. You want to tell them what this is, man? This is a good one.
Yeah, we're doing one of the most popular shot-on-video horror films of all time, and it is called Video Violence.
Shot on video. My boy, the fucking the cinema snob on YouTube, he coined the term "shot on shitio," which I think is fun too. But like, this movie actually isn't a shitty shot on video movie.
No.
It's funny because if this is the one that kind of gets you into the genre and you start here, you're only going downhill because like it's kind of surprising how competent this movie actually is when you watch it. Like expecting like what got me into the shot on video or shot on shitio was the Camp Blood movies. You ever watch those?
I didn't see those ones. I don't have too much experience with shot on video. I would just like get duped into it in terms of like, you know, the earlier days of video. Like I would just occasionally rent a horror movie not knowing it was shot on video. Mm-hmm. And then later, like in the late 90s, like right before DVD popped out, I would order some things like Tommy Faircloth movies like Crinoline Head and Generation Axe that were shot on video. Yeah. You know, some of them were like the shot on mini DV type thing.
Yeah, but Brain Damage Films was one that I stumbled upon when I was real young. And yeah, fucking like those, like the Camp Blood and all that shit. Other ones I could think of too.
Yeah, baby. Sorry, I was choking. It's like somebody came in and was choking me.
Okay, I didn't realize that was you choking. I heard it cutting in and out. I thought you were trying to talk, and I accidentally cut you off. That's why I just stopped, babe. I'm cutting off my boy, Duggo. He is Duggo.
No way. So let's go ahead and get this rolling, because I feel like there's so many, you know, besides like the actual movie, I feel like there's so many ways, topics that will be brought up for this. So I'm going to go ahead. We're rolling off the DVD. We don't have the... Imagine if you had the original tape, baby. How much that would probably be worth.
Oh,
the video
yeah.
violence.
Oh,
but yeah, we have the DVD reissues, and I want to say this DVD came out like, what, 2011?
Something like that.
2007, yeah. Something like that. But yeah, so we're rolling off that, and I don't think this is the original logo, but at the beginning there's something like 1 second into the movie. It says Camp Motion Pictures Presents. That's where we got to pause that. So I want to say 1, 2, 3, go, guys. When you hear me say go, please hit play on your remotes or your PS3s. Or since this is older, maybe you got that Super Nintendo controller, baby. And you're going, oh, wait, that didn't play DVDs. Never mind. All right, everybody. Get your junk in your hand. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, yeah. Now it's rolling, baby. Now we're seeing the Camp Motion Picture.
As soon as we pressed play, we heard that audible silence that you only get on VHS. We were talking about that. Oh, look, James Golf. That's the scuff version of James Rolfe, the fucking angry video gamer. Yeah, he's like fucking. He basically, yeah, he was the guy that was like before fucking that. Like he was doing Atari and shit.
The angry Atari. Now this is like rare for like any type of low budget movie or whatever, but they actually started out like epic. They got a prologue, baby.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, are they gonna fucking exactly like? It's funny how competent this actually is. If you got like used to seeing, like this movie could have literally been like they didn't have to change anything. They could have just shot it with like a better camera, and it could have been like fucking like an Evil Dead like type of like fucking old 16 millimeter fucking low budget movie that people remember. I think it works. I think it's pretty fun. It's kind of a whodunit, not a whodunit, but a mystery because you kind of know who did it right away. But like it's a murder mystery, baby, if you will.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, first thing I wanted to say about this movie is, well, first of all, this location of like this, I don't know what you would call this, outdoor wear type store. It's not really sporting goods. It's more like
it's like Burlington Coat Factory or something.
Well, yeah, but like a real one, not like the fake one at the mall or whatever the fuck. But like, yeah, like it's all outdoor wear boots, and like these motherfuckers. Like I remember there being shops like this when I was a kid. You would go into that would just have shelves of shit like this. Like they weren't corporate. You know what I mean?
Do you have a Rural King?
No, we don't have that here.
Yeah, there's a place around my part of what's called Rural King, and fucking you can tell I'm kind of hicky because I say Rural King, I can't fucking say it right. Fucking very low T on my part, but yeah, they sell like fucking kind of stacks like those weird wood things, and fucking they're filled with pants and shit, fucking work overalls and all that shit.
And yeah, like I feel like the Walmarts and shit like came in and stole all that market of just like that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like just like, oh, here's a bunch of work pants. Whereas like back in the days, you had to like go to a fucking place to get a work pant. Baby, I want to ask you, do you know? I could have swore we reviewed this on Hillbilly DVD Reviews, but I can't find the video on YouTube. I don't know if we did or not. Do you remember if we ever did?
I don't know if you did either. Yeah.
I know for a fact me and Phil D's watched it. We watched both. I took it to his house on a weekend and we watched it.
Yeah, you might have. I might be remembering that. Yeah.
But I can't find it on our playlist. And for some reason, we I guess we're like, what do you call them? Those shadow bands? Our shit don't come up when you search it in YouTube. We're like hidden, even if the video is really there.
That is lame.
Yeah. But like, I think like... And maybe this is just part of like, you know, like I didn't see this movie when it first came out. I saw this around 2013-ish. I was just I used to do this thing on Netflix, like actual Netflix DVD, where I would just like stumble across shit and like look at the plot synopsis. And I would be like, oh, that seems like a movie I want to watch. And like this said, you know, it had to do with the video store. So I'm like, oh, I want to see that baby horror movie in a video store.
Yeah, you probably didn't realize it was shot on Shitio.
I had no idea it was shot on Shitio. Like the thought didn't even cross my mind that it could be shot on Shitio. Really?
Exactly. You never really expected it. Yeah, it's just like every once in a while you get those and you'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's possible to get these too. And sometimes it'd really turn you off. Sometimes it'd be like, for me, it always like, because I always liked making home movies. So like when I watched shit like this, it just kind of reaffirmed it. Like, oh yeah. Anybody could do this. Fucking, but yeah, we got basically it's ingenious plot for the movie. Basically, main character works at a video store, so it's kind of like that Clerks if it was just all in RSD video, and then, but like fucking yeah, like basically yeah, a bunch of fucking. It's like yeah, like, so right away you're watching a movie taking place in a video store, and like you see the tapes back there, and you're already wanting to just look at all the tapes, like oh what do they got there? Oh they got Blood Cult, the fucking original shot on Shitio, the big box. But yeah, fucking very very Chad. But like yeah, the plot is fucking he's working there, and somebody returns a tape, which is like a blank tape, like it's not the one that they were supposed to return. It's like, oh, they accidentally fucking put in one of their home video, and so his coworker's like, oh, we got to see what's on this. What do these fucking country bumpkins watch for entertainment? And then they stumble upon a fucking a snuff film. Fucking somebody accidentally gave to the video store, babe, and then yeah, the mystery unveils. It unravels from there. Unveils. That's wrong. That's the wrong thing to say. Very low T of me.
But the mystery starts in the prologue because these two guys that run this sporting goods store or whatever outdoor wear store, they just like kill a customer who comes in to try on some clothes. They beat her with a bat, and then you notice her face was all bloody, and he kissed her on the bloody mouth.
Yeah, something very Little Zach right there.
Little Zach, yeah.
Fucking
you were behind this shit, baby. In the womb, you were calling the shots.
Fucking, I wanted to go by Lil Nut Zach, but they said that the world was not ready for that yet. Fucking one day, basically.
Did you know there's an Easter egg? If you stick all the way through the credits, you get to see a still photo of Little Zach.
Oh, I saw that. I saw Baby. I didn't realize that was Lil Zach.
That was Little Zach, yeah.
Fucking, now, I can't wait for his new record, Lil Zach, and fucking hell yeah, that fucking dank hip hop mixtape he's gonna drop.
Now, they did a very Chad thing, and I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life, but they did a very Chad thing. Okay, the name of the movie is Video Violence, and the tagline is ... when renting is not enough. But they actually put the tagline in the title of the movie, like it says Video Violence, and it cuts to another card that says when renting is not enough. So, like, that's pretty Chad that you're like...
Genius.
Like, I guess probably not in the theater, because this was actually made for home video, but if you get the tape... and you've made the commitment from the video store or whatever, you get this from Blockbuster, probably not probably like Network Video or some shit. Mm-hmm. And you sit down in your couch at your house and you hit play on the remote, and then like they're still marketing the movie to you while you're watching it. That's genius.
Fucking, I love it. I got the biggest fucking smile on my face. Fucking, and then now we're seeing a very shitty home video, shot video of a fucking guy driving to work, and we're seeing opening credits. Very genius. The first one comes up in the top left-hand corner, and just because I'm watching a VHS, I expect to see the play little thing at the top where it says like from the VCR it says play, but then I look up and it's like, oh, that's a person's name, and it's like, oh, this is the credits. Fucking genius. Fucking right on. Did you see the guy that wrote this movie? His name was Gary L. Cohen. Is he related to Leonard Cohen?
I thought it was Gary P. Cohen.
Larry P. Cohen. Fucking
yeah.
Is he related to my boy Leonard Cohen though? Great songwriter.
I think if he was related to Leonard Cohen in some way, like even like a distant cousin, I think he could have like raised a little more money than this budget.
Exactly. Get your fucking your cousin to be in the movie. It could have been a vehicle starring Leonard Cohen. He's going around being all fucking sad and Chad all the time. Fucking this big concrete cock walks in. Fucking the ladies walk in, see him behind the counter at the VHS store. They just start swooning. Fucking flooding the fucking store with their fucking juices from the Johnny.
So the movie starts with a guy returning a videotape, okay? And, like, you just see him, like, he's going to put it in the slot here, the night return slot, and he's going to, like, look around. That's actually the director, baby. Gary P. Cohen right there.
That's him. Fucking looking like fucking, what's his name? Rufus from fucking George Carlin. Very Chad.
And when they did the first take of that, the main actor, the guy who plays the video store owner, he was on the other side, and he popped the tape back out, threw it back out. And Gary P. Cohen actually yelled at him and the crew. Like if you watch the interview, you get to see the outtakes where he yells. He's like, "Okay, that was very funny, but it's costing us time." So he was actually worried about conserving the VHS tapes they were shooting on.
Fucking Chad. See, this is how you know he's A-head. See, like fucking me back in the day, I was the same way. People were fucking around on set. I got pissed. I was very fucking aspy about it. Fucking how dare you? Fucking, but you just got. It's like you are the animal and I am the great leader. I'm the director. Fucking I was very much like our boy fucking counting his stopwatch. Like fucking you cannot come in after a certain time. What's his name? Fucking our boy Alfred Hitchcock.
Hitchcock. What, it was like 12 minutes. You can't come see the movie.
Exactly. His philosophy was that the actors were just like fucking, they're just basically they're the monkeys you get to do the job because you ultimately want your vision to come out, and it's like he just didn't care. He's fucking, that's great right there. Look at that. Hell yeah.
But it's sacrilege, baby, though, because to cover up the little slot where the VHS tapes get dropped into, they take a Friday the 13th Part 5 poster and they sliced it in half. Like, that's sacrilege. They ruined that poster, baby.
Fucking, they put that poster there. What's that implying? That, like, fucking, what about Part 5? It's like, oh, it's an imposter, Jason. Are they like fucking? Is this some kind of inside joke? Like these are the tapes that fucking. I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's probably just a coincidence. I'm thinking too much into it.
No, I went. It was funny. I went to mostly. I was lucky enough to mostly. I was old enough, Zach, to go to actual real, what they call mom and pop video stores. And I never been to one that was this nice. They was always like way more basic and low budget than even what you see here. Like this is actually a nice fucking store, in all honesty.
It is. And like I was saying, it's surprising how competent we made this is. Because if you go to a video store and it's like, oh, I want to dive into the fucking shot on VHS movies, like you can get so much fucking worse. You could get like fucking Oh, a great one. A lot of people would think this is terrible, but I love Necromaniac. You ever see
Hmm.
those?
No.
Fucking Necromaniac and Schizophreniac. Fucking that first one I fucking love. It's about this crazy guy who's hearing voices and he thinks it's his ventriloquist dummy, fucking Rubberneck, telling him to kill people, but he's a fucking he's crazy, he's schizophrenic, very Chad. That one is dank. But yeah, I mentioned like the Camp Blood ones earlier. We should do those sometime. Those would be fun too. Very.
Yeah, I would watch them. See, like, yeah, like shot on video. Like I said, I didn't watch that much, but the ones where I like went into it knowing it was shot on video, I never had a problem because it adjusted my expectations. It was just those ones that you got from the video store that had like a really good like painting cover of horror, and you think, oh, this movie's gonna be so awesome, and then it's just like a home video. But like, yeah,
Blood Cult, like Blood Cult right there,
right there on the show, and but like when I saw video violence, like I was like, oh, like whatever. But it's like video violence is different because it's so, like you said, it's so competent, it's so well done. Like the only criticism I could have is like, it'd be cooler if the sound was a little better. Because like there's a lot of scenes where like the piano synthesizer's playing and then the people are talking, and like it's not too hard to hear, but you can still tell what they're saying. But you kind of just wish the sound was balanced a little bit better. You know what I'm saying, babe?
Yeah. I think there's one overdub in the whole movie, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. If I noticed it right. I'll bring it up later, but like we talked over the part, like they get their first customer coming into the video store, and he comes in, he's like, I want with a movie about a chainsaw, and he goes, I know which one you want. So it's like, oh, can you be some like a little bit more specific? The movie with the chainsaw, like how many fucking movies have a chainsaw throughout? And they're just out of horror movies. It's like, well, he could mean Pieces, he could mean Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but no, they go right to a copy of Pieces. You think it'd be Texas Chainsaw because that's the huge movie, but nope, it's Pieces. Fucking maybe the guy that made this was like he liked the deep cuts. Fucking boy.
I'm thinking because he was saying it was an obscure movie that made him come up with this concept because he was working in a video store for real, baby. And some young lady with a baby, they recreate the scene in the movie, but in real life it was, I think, I Dismember Mama, and she was like, she had a little child and then like a baby, and she was like, oh, does this have any nudity? And he's like, well, I'm not sure. He's like, but I know it's very violent, so obviously, it's not a movie for the kids. And she's like, oh, like as long as it doesn't have nudity, I'll let the kids watch it. So that was his whole concept for video violence coming in. So he probably was about the deep cuts.
That kind of is like a weird thing we've had in America too. Like, the sexuality is looked at as more of a taboo than violence, and like, that is really weird. But it's like, fucking, so it makes you wonder, like, is this movie kind of a altogether a commentary kind of, or is it just like, oh, let's take that and have fun with it, or is he actually trying to say something? But like, I was thinking about that, and I was like, could he actually say something without it coming off as like hypocritical, being as though the movie's made? And I was like, I don't know, fucking the layers of irony involved. Maybe he's just very fucking Chad, very five-head.
Well, it is very five-head because if it was just one of those things where he was just doing satire commentary, like looking down on it, then he wouldn't have like gone the extra mile to make the horror scenes as good as they are. Because like the special effects, I mean, it's a shot-on-video movie, it's like it's so low budget, but the special effects are good, and the way he edits around the special effects to make everything work better. I've never seen any other shot-on-video movie that was edited this good, in all honesty.
He has a total like self-awareness about it, where he knows the limitations. He knows, like, a lot of people seem to like fucking think, oh, that looks way better than it does to like most people. But he was able to like, this is how long we got to show the effect cutaway. And yeah, I guess like I read that like he got to edit this at like the the local what's that called, like cable access, like using their equipment from like 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m. or something like that. And then apparently like the guy who he found out like the content of the movie, and he's like, I wouldn't let you edit here if I'd known the content of the movie. He like cut his time in half or something. Like he was able to get it all edited up in like 2 nights. Very Chad.
Well, the editing is not bad. It's just one of those things, you know, looking at it with more modern eyes, you realize, oh, you know, he probably, you know, especially if you were cutting on computer compared to cutting on tape. I actually edited on tape, both at home and in a cable access station. It's very tough editing on tape with the equipment. It's much better if you feed the tape into a you know, a computer, and then you can get really precise. Yeah. But obviously that wasn't an option back then.
I remember fucking making home videos and having to edit shit with 2 VCRs.
Yep.
You fucking
pause it, record, play. Yeah.
You had to get used to how long the tape, like, fucking, you press stop, it doesn't just stop right when you press it. It rewinds a little bit.
Yeah.
And you got to get it. You got to get the timing all down, so you record a little longer than you want to, knowing it'll get shaved off. Fucking, it's so weird to think about how we had to do it, like, as kids. Very,
I know.
Fucking reminiscent.
I had a real 5-head, yeah, because he was supposed to have 12 hours to edit the movie, and then the guy got pissed, and then I think he had even less than 6. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours. So, I mean, he actually did a really good job for what he, you know, the little bit of time. But I had a 5-head idea, baby. If I ever make another movie again, I'm going to make the real version on digital cameras, and then I'm just going to, like, pop out, like, one take only for each scene. I'm going to pop out a VHS camera and then film a take of each scene. On VHS, and then that way, as a bonus feature on the DVD, you can do, here's the VHS version, and it's like legit full frame, you know, VHS quality. That would be donk, I think.
The shot on Shidio version. The only guy that fucking releases all of his films on shot on Shidio.
Yeah.
Release the shot on Shidio cut.
But you know what's funny though? We keep saying shot on Shidio, and like, you know, back then when they were making this movie, Zach. When this would have come out, most people, their TVs were tiny, and I'm sitting here watching this on the way I record is I have a monitor, a little widescreen monitor that plays the movie next to my computer, and it's a little 7-inch thing, I think 7.5-inch thing. It's about the size of, you know, kind of like a large cell phone type screen. You know, and then the sides are cut off because this isn't widescreen, this is 4:3. But I'm looking at it on this small monitor, you know, it kind of hides the imperfections, baby. And I'm like, this actually doesn't look bad. Like, there's a few shots that, like, you know, the lighting isn't very atmospheric. It's very flat looking. But the actual movie, like, the quality, you know, when I rewatched this the other night, back when I originally would have rented this from Netflix, I watched it on a 42-inch screen. And, it didn't look that bad back then. But the other night I watched it on a 65-inch OLED. And obviously it looked as shitty as you think it is. But if you watch it on a smaller TV, and especially if you're, you're Chad enough to still have a CRT TV laying around and you watch this, I don't think it would look bad at all.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, very competent. Fucking, I've seen ones like our boy Joe Bob did a week this season of Last Drive-In of shot on video. He did Things and he did Sledgehammer. Those are 2 really bad ones. And fucking, like, yeah, like it's crazy. Like, this guy, he really like kind of hit it out of the park with his, like, because these are kind of known for not just being like bad because like, oh, it's shot on video and it's very low budget. It's like, we could all do this. That always made it like really like cool to me as a kid. But like fucking, then the movies, it still had to be good. And this is fucking, most of them just fell super flat. And fucking this one, it keeps it up. Like, it keeps you like fucking kind of like, I don't know, because I can't go back and undo, because there's kind of like, I don't know, would you consider it a twist ending in the movie? Or not really. Fucking, he kind of just slowly figures it all out.
Yeah, it's less of a twist. I mean, there is a little bit of a twist with that lady who comes in. They twist that aspect of it, like her character. But yeah, the revelation, I guess, it's more of a revelation than a twist, because the film is obviously very much building up to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, but basically, yeah, they found that tape. The guy left it in there, or fucking accidentally returned it instead. They found the snuff film, and now he's taking it to the sheriff, and fucking the sheriff does not seem to he's not impressed. Like, fucking, what the hell? Why would you not be impressed? Actually, yeah, he doesn't believe him at first. But like, yeah, we're gonna assume everybody's seen this and know the ending. Fucking, like, yeah, basically the whole town is like fucking in on this. And it's like basically they mentioned they established earlier in the movie that like fucking we don't get cable, we don't get fucking dish. He said something about how they're not allowed to put dish there. I mean,
Yeah,
basically just setting up the town.
that was some good writing right there. Well, we're not allowed to put up a fancy satellite dish.
Fucking Dish as a network has just outright banned us. They don't like something we're doing or something. The way we treat animals at our slaughterhouse or something. They boycott it. But basically, it's just a way to set up this town has no entertainment. So basically, they notice like, all the people come in and rent fucking slasher films, these gore films. Basically, we find out that basically these two guys, fucking Ike and his buddy, they basically shoot themselves, like they film themselves killing people, and then they just release those and fucking basically. So were they implying that they sent it to to the video store on purpose and just forgot to put a label on it so that they wouldn't notice they changed the tape? Because I was getting the idea that basically they've done this with every tape in the store, and all the people that go in and rent a tape know that they're getting like, this is just what it says on it, but like fucking, it's really a home video killing. Like I always thought that was what it was doing.
No, I don't think it was really that. I think what it was it was like they just trade the tapes by themselves because they noticed the tape was switched right when it came back, right? Like they would have noticed if like all the tapes were like that, because like some tapes back then came with a sticker that you probably could have lifted off and re-glued down. But then also, you remember some tapes, baby? Like they actually had the screen printing to tell you the name of the movie on the tape.
Yeah.
So I think it was. I really think this one was just an accident, like what the guy said. The main character said, like, like he mixed up, because that actually happened to me all the time at the video store. Is people would either return the DVD case with the wrong DVD in it, or like with no DVD in it, because like people just always left shit in their machines. It was weird. Like I never really get that. 'Cause
Yeah.
with my own disc, I'll let that shit lay in there. But with a rental disc, I always take it back out and put it in a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm probably fucking just mixing it up with how the movie ends, thinking like, they were setting that up early, fucking. We'll get there, baby. But yeah, like now he took the tape to the fucking sheriff and tried to show it, and like the tape's been switched. It's just a normal fucking home video now. So fucking that sheriff has a cold sore. See that?
Yeah, he's an older gentleman, but he still has the herpes.
Exactly. Fucking he needs to get some Carmex or Blistex, whatever the fuck. I think that's his chapstick.
And he based his character off Foghorn Leghorn.
Fucking very Chad. That's what a big concrete cock does.
We still haven't talked about the main character, Steven, who comes to this hick town to open a video store. They established he used to run a movie theater in New York, so he's not like a yokel type. He's very cultured. He's got long, this was very like reminiscent of the late '80s guys, business guys. Everybody had long hair pulled back into the ponytail.
He had a nice bulge too. If you missed that,
I didn't pick up on that part. No, but
solid bulge.
But he dresses stylishly compared to everybody else. Like he wears like new wave ties and jackets and shit. Like he's pretty dope. Now we get introduced to his wife, and we should say these two people. I tried to find out more information about them. I couldn't. All I knew was what the director said in his little interview on the bonus features. But these two people are actually married in real life. And another reason what sets this movie above other shot on video, aka shot on shitio releases, is this man and this woman playing husband and wife are real husband and wife, but they're also professional actors. They was in some touring productions of musical theater. Because I was wondering, like, how'd they get such good actors for, because the dialogue is very, like, plain and simple and, like, it's just very, like, kind of, what do you call it, exposition, where you just kind of, gurgle it. Like, they're not really giving the actors, like, much to, like, play off of with the script. It's just more like, we're saying this and we're saying this so the audience knows what's going on with the plot. Yeah.
It's also, like, even the script written, like, the way the script's written is very, like competent. Like, when it comes to, like, this is very, like, he would have fit right in Hollywood. I'm sure he could have got, like, a fucking job.
Yeah, it was very good. But it's like when you have that kind of script that's just all about the plot, it's really more than the director, because the director can't tell the actors say every line this way or do this. So the people that play the husband and wife, I think they do a really good job of like kind of filling it in and making it seem more natural and real. Like they bring the emotion into it. Like there's a lot of scenes that are like very deadpan, like they just got to get the lines out, But like they put like like good banter and pace into it and emotion to it, to where it seems more like real people. Because I really like both their performances, and like the I really like the wife. I think she's total Stacy for sure. But she kind of reminds me of the one girl from Halloween, Nancy, who got killed.
Yeah.
But I really like the guy too, because he's like, I don't know how to describe him, but he plays it more like a real life, like in real, in a lot of fake movies, like some shit starts happening, and the character gets all tough, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to expose you and uncover it. Like, he's not like that. Like, he's afraid. He's just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, is it a joke? Could people really be getting killed? Like, he's really, like, mentally disturbed, I say, about what's going on. He's, like, internalizing that shit.
Like his coworker, the kid that so far is fucking went missing. They still don't know for sure, because it's like, oh, he's a kid. Maybe this is all just a fucking game he's playing with me. Maybe he'll fucking tomorrow show up or whatever. They don't know what to think yet, and it continues to get fucking weirder as we go along.
Yeah, the kid that worked with him in the store, the people of the town, they kind of like spread rumors about him, say, oh, like he's just playing a joke on you. Like, you can't trust that kid. He dropped out of college. Like they use that as like a character flaw. He dropped out of college, so you can't trust a word this motherfucker's saying.
Exactly. And then that scene where he's talking to the sheriff, and he says something to him like that, and it's like, oh, no, there's nothing weird about him. Ever since his he basically just drops some exposition dialogue, and it's like, would a cop really? Would you stop to say that to a cop? It's like, it don't fucking, like, they didn't even think about who they're saying it to. They just didn't want to, like, they just wanted to tell us that fucking this is stuff we need to know. We fucking his mom. He's taking care of his mom or whatever. Very high tea, though. Very high tea.
And see, the movie's formatted this way. First, it tells you this is the prologue. Then they tell you this is day one. They say, see, look, he's wearing like country club wear there, man. This man is very stylish. Like, he's, I like that. Like, unfortunately, they kind of dropped the ball in his car. He drives I don't even know what kind of car it is. It's so shitty, ugly green. It's all dented up on the side. But every time they show the video store, all I imagine is like how much all that video store memorabilia is worth now on eBay. Because I've tried to get some video. I've gotten a few video store memorabilia things, but I want those little display boxes that they used to sell that were oversized, and the mini posters and the little standees you put on the counter. Like, that shit is expensive and hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I actually find, like, this is one of the few times where I'd say it really feels like a shot on video. The scene in the alleyway with the little boy and the dog.
Yeah, that dog. They had to pay a lot of money for that dog coach to be there to fucking get that dog to stop right in the right spot, fucking eat that thing. And probably not. It was probably just the director's dog. You know what's funny too is watching this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Cohen right there, fucking. Isn't it funny? Like you watch one of these labors of love, you just for some reason you always assume that the fucking main character is the director. I don't know why I always do that.
Your assumption would be right if you watch one of my movies, because I always did that.
That was always me too, exactly. Yeah. Fucking hell yeah.
But that little video, that alleyway scene, it was really just to show you that the guy Rick had ended up dead, because you just see a hand laying in the trash. But I couldn't tell if the little boy even noticed that the hand was laying in the trash. Yeah,
was that just like kind of an establishing shot that they clashed with each other, or was he actually supposed to be seeing it? Because it kind of looked like the dog stops and like smells it or something, and he just turns around and walks away. But then it's like clearly like a mannequin in a fucking plastic bag. But it's like, oh, in the movie that's his dead body. Okay, fucking. It's not just that somebody threw a mannequin away, because that's what I would assume.
Isn't it funny, all these posters and these little things hanging from the ceiling? Like, the movie studios would send video stores like for free. Now that shit's worth like $100.
Yeah, it's fun to look at this. It's like, oh, look at the posters back there. What movies can I see? Here's the recreation of the scene that inspired the movie. Yeah, basically it was like
Yeah.
a mom, like, oh, you know why this is rated R? And he's like, oh, I assume because it's violent. I don't remember. I don't know if there's any nudity. She's like, oh, well, if it's violent, that's fine for my toddler. And he
Yeah.
changed it to a very small baby for the movie. But yeah, really. But that is how we always thought. Like, or like, yeah, I don't know. Were your parents kind of like that, or were you like? I remember like a couple times where my mom and dad, they knew like I watched horror movies with killing in it, but then like every once in a while they walk in on a sex scene, and it's literally like that meme when it's like fucking the movie when you know no one's home, and the movie
Yeah.
whenever your girlfriend walks in or whatever. It was literally like that, and they'd be like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Fucking, I just like the movie you rented for me." They're like, "Oh yeah, fucking." I guess so. And then they fucked off. But yeah, it is
No,
weird.
I was allowed to see pretty much everything I wanted to because we went to the movies every week, usually a couple movies, and no, yeah, I was allowed to watch everything I wanted to, and I never really had to watch anything by myself or sneak it or anything. Just the only thing is, I remember when I was like littler in the theater, like I don't know what up to like what age or whatever, probably like 6, 7, maybe as far as 8 years old, maybe. I remember when nudity come on. And it was really because early on more it was like me, my mom, and my dad always went to the movies, and then as I got older, my mom didn't want to go. It just always be me and my dad. But I remember when the three of us would go, and I was like young, and some nudity would happen. Like my dad would reach over and cover my eyes just during the nudity part, and then like sometimes I could see through the cracks of his fingers. You know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah, dads, dude.
that was the only censorship I had was some hands over the, the eyes for a
Oh
scene or
yeah.
two.
That's the censorship that you're supposed to do when you have a kid. Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's up to the parent, baby. Oh,
Yeah.
basically, right here, these two characters right here, they're the ones that shoot the homemade snuff films, and
Yeah.
you got to know who they are to understand the plot at all of Video Violence 2, which also comes on this DVD from Camp Motion Pictures. It's 1 and 2, and
Yep.
like, yeah, I thought about this. Video Violence 2 came out in 1988. And the great cover for that movie, if you ever see the original
Yeah, the
box art,
skeleton. Yeah.
yeah, fucking, it's a nice insert in this DVD. But like fucking that one, in a way, that was kind of fucking that predated. That was technically a found footage movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was one of the early ones.
That predates fucking
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch by probably a full decade. I think Blair Witch came out in '99 or '98.
I think 99, maybe 2000 at the latest.
Fucking everybody's jumping on fucking Blair Witch's dick. Fucking this movie originated it. Fucking very shit. But it's technically not. It's found footage, and it's also like them doing a weird variety hour, like let's snuff
Yeah.
kill people.
It's like you're watching them run like a snuff TV station, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really interesting idea. I think I haven't seen the second one in a while. I remember liking them both, but like the first one I thought was a better movie, and part two
Me
was
too.
fun. Part two was
Right.
fun. I like as a. But
Like if you would have rented part 2 back in the day, you would have enjoyed it. But if you're watching them like back to back, you're gonna like part 1 better because it's like more like legit horror movie.
this part right here, this first like torture scene from the two psycho killers with the camera. Fucking this works because like this girl they got looks like just a normal person. Like clearly, if this was like a Hollywood movie, they would have got like fucking GQ model and stuff like that to play this part. But we're just seeing like any other lady fucking getting just fucking like a beard poured on her, and they're like, oh,
Come on, she's very Stacy. Let's be honest.
she's pretty state. Fucking for this town, definitely. For fucking bootleg
For real
Mario.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking for bootleg Mario too. Fucking the big Stacy. This is fucking Princess Peach in half.
Did you
Fucking
see
over here.
that? You see that Stacy in the scene right before this that returned the videotapes? Like that girl came. That was complete '80s fashion. She had the women's blazer on, and she had the big, kind of cockatoo parrot hair and shit. Like she was.
Oh,
You know,
sex.
you could tell she got all dressed up, come down to her one big scene in the movie. But yeah, now this is where the movie took me by surprise, Zach, because we get some nice nudity here. This lady gets tortured, and like for an actor or a person or whoever to do nudity in a shot on video movie with no budget, getting no pay, that's some commitment to acting right there.
Yeah, what would you think? Like fucking, like, did they have to do like a casting call for like the local like college? It's like, hey, anybody wants to
Strippers
be in a
or
movie, anything like that? And then she shows up and it's just some guy with a video camera. Like, there's no way you wouldn't think that like he's gonna set up some weird fucking like they're not really they're gonna get me tied up and then they're gonna reveal that like, oh yeah, I'm just the fucking victim and they're gonna like torture me in real life or something. That would be scary, yeah.
I think it's just people are dying that much to do it because there was a few shot on video ones shot in Cincinnati in the late '90s. I remember, more like mid '90s, late '90s, and like they would get women to come do nudity and shit. And it's just like you just have to really find the people and be up front with them. Like this is what the part is. You want to be in a movie, but it's like. I don't know. Like, I guess if you're really good, like that lady has some giant. Well, I'll say giant, but she had some like really good breasts. So like, I guess you're just like proud enough that you just want to show that. Like, if you have like a 13-inch hog and some guys like you want to come be in a movie, you're not gonna say no. You know what I mean?
It's like our boy King Cobra. He's got a 7-inch cock with a 2-inch girth. He's proud of what he got. Exactly.
I'm gonna let you know.
Exactly.
But the one scene of the torture scene, I guess, for not like everybody has a copy of this movie, so I guess we should be a little more descriptive. Was they was torturing a girl tied up in a basement, and she had nothing but just a white tank top on, like a wife beater type shirt. They poured Jack Daniels, then they poured beer, so they were doing a wet t-shirt contest. And the two guys, they're named Howard and Eli. And what's weird is, like, to me, the red-haired guy looks so much like a Eli, and the guy with the mustache looks like a Howard. But it's reversed. The guy with the mustache is Eli. Another one's Howard. But anyway, but there's a scene where Eli takes scissors, and he takes the tank top, like, over the girl's nipples, and, like, he grabs the material, and he cuts with the scissors. And, like, that is, like, one of those, like, nails on chalkboard type thing, because I'm always afraid he's going to cut her nipple when he's doing it.
That'd be hard to film that too. You'd have to put a lot of trust in that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not talking about in the movie. I'm talking about for real, like, because the guy's drinking on camera, everything. He's got these big right now. He's just still like we cut back to the snuff film. He's still just hacking away on her shirt with the scissors. It's very harrowing, man. Like, sharp ass scissors.
The only thing that there's not a lot of things that like you think like watching a shot on video movie like there'd be a lot of things taking you out of it. One of the only things I can think of is like if this was like kind of a bigger budget movie, they probably would have like this scene, like the way she's kind of like leaning with her arm. It's like you can tell she's not like completely like just passed out. You can kind of tell like she's kind of propped up. It's like stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, like they didn't want it to be too uncomfortable for the actors and stuff. Like stuff like that was just like, there's a shot on the back of the case too. It's a screenshot from a scene we'll see later where he's carving Eli into her chest there.
Oh yeah,
very Krug like. But like on the
it
back
looks real too. It doesn't look like a shitty thing. Like it looks like a real cuts and blood on her breast there. Yeah.
And they're filming it on the back though. Do you got your copy?
I'm looking at it right now.
That shot where he's like filming it and she's like doing the dirt face. If you look, his finger is covering it's right in front of the lens. Like fucking.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Idiot. Fucking idiot.
He is a moron.
Exactly.
Don't he look like Brad from Critters though?
Kind of. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the cameraman. Well, now this is a good scene too. They put the ice pick through her chest, like they cut up her boobs with the straight razor or whatever it was. And like that's a good effect too, because it actually looks like the ice pick, like he's pushing it in and pulling it back out of her skin. It actually looks real.
Yeah, they wrote Eli. He's like, oh, we gotta dot the I. Fucking, what are we gonna use? Ice pick, and then he stabs her in like the chest. Very cringe. Very hard to watch. The thought
ice baby.
Anytime, there's any kind of carving, skin, like, or words or anything like that, it's just like, yuck. Yeah. Here's his wife, though. She's working at the what is that, the board?
City Hall, yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
She works for the town, basically, so she has access to records. So, like, on the first tape, the kid who was from the town, he recognized it as, the postmaster general. So they're like, oh yeah, he retired to Florida. We can look him up and contact him. So she's like, trying to find that guy's contact information. And this is like the scene more, because she was dressed more like casual at the first scene where they're eating dinner. But this is where you get she's real stylish too. She got some real Stacy like dressing. You know who she would have been like a good version of is she kind of reminds me of the way they have the lady dressed up in The Conjuring playing Lorraine Warren. This lady could play the good at Lorraine Warren too if they would have made a movie back in the 80s.
Oh yes, fucking Lorraine Warren, the chick from Bates Motel.
Yeah, Vera.
Very Stacy, very Stacy.
Almost 50 years old and very Stacy.
Exactly. Did you hear that voiceover? I'm sorry. The number you're trying. Now I noticed this earlier. Is this like a plot hole? Because basically it's a movie where everybody's in on this big cabal like kind of stuff going on, and she's the person that works as like basically the first person that would have to be in on all this shit. Did you notice that?
Who, his wife or who?
Yeah, she's like she works for like the board of the town. It's like you'd almost think would be like a numero uno person you gotta like fucking get convinced of all that your shady shit going on in your town. But she's just like, she has no idea. She just moved there. And like fucking that, would that be considered a plot hole, or am I just overthinking it?
I don't think it's a plot hole, and here's why. They're still relatively new to the town. I think the idea is when they wanted to come here, because they're not against people coming in, they're against people like to murder, like they murder people who are passing by where they can't prove that they're really in the town.
Basically, they said we can't kill each other, we lose our market because they're making these movies. That the town is the market, so we got to kill transient people that just stumble upon our town. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if people want to leave, if anybody's like, oh, I just want to move somewhere else, they got to kill them because they don't want the secret to get out. So I think it's one of those things, like, they don't tell you right away when you're new to the town, but, like, at some point it gets revealed to you, you know what I mean? And, like with them, they find it out. But I think also, too, like, more than just anybody else, like, they had him and his wife had, like, a kind of, like, another layer to their shit. Whereas, like, he comes, he's got the money to open the video store. So it's like, okay, we finally got a video store in this hick town, you know? And, like, that's why he says, like, oh, business is doing good. And the guy said there's no TV. So I think they wanted him and his wife to come so he could open the store. But then it's that thing of, like, once he found out the secret, they would either kill him or, it's either kind of like if he goes along with it, he could run the video store and rent the tapes out for them. Mm-hmm. But if he doesn't want to go along with it, they'll just kill him and take the video store, which is what they end up doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like Scientology. They're slowly red-pilled into the mythology. Like once you're so deep in there, then you can't leave, baby. Very Chad. Yeah.
And you notice here, like, she thinks she's calling, like, the postmaster general guy who supposedly moved to Florida somewhere. But the other lady she works with actually transferred the call to, like, a guy just in the office right there. So they're telling you right now he's on the phone pretending to be the guy who got killed, and he's saying, like, oh yeah, I'm down here in Florida, I'm having a good time, I'm retired and everything. But right now we're being halfway through the movie, we're finding out how big the conspiracy goes, like the way they will cover shit up in case you accidentally start to find out about it. You know what I mean? And they don't want you to.
They are fucking red-pilled. They know how to do it. Yeah. This is how you do it. Me and all my friends, we do the same shit. We with the whole cult of personality. Like, we make sure, like, you don't put any gods before us, basically. So I've been through this.
Yeah, like, definitely based in compel, because, like, the beginning of the movie, like, when the guys show up and they kill the guy in the video store, that only happens because the owner guy runs to the cops. If he would have got, like, maybe getting the tape was a test, like you said, like, maybe it was like, okay, we're going to see if he's cool with this shit or not, And, like, he immediately ran to the cop, and, like, the way they set it up, there's, like, two cops there, like, a younger deputy and then Sheriff Foghorn Leghorn. And so, like, the other deputy could have, like, he could have easily been like, oh, the guy's, he called the killers being like, oh, the guy's here, he's going to make trouble, so go get that tape back, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That scene where his wife is in there, though, calling him there, and she's got that done-up hair. Like when I watched this, getting ready for the commentary, I didn't even pick up that was his wife. I was like, "Who's this new character they were introducing?"
Yeah, because she looks like what I'm saying. Like, because I think her hair is down in the other one. Like, she looks quite a bit different, and she's dressed up more stylish. She looks a bit different. You just have to kind of be, paying attention, I guess.
You got to be very based and very compelled watching. So he's getting tape number 2 now. He just got fucking left on his table while he's fucking working, and he watches it, and he's getting ready to see his coworker from the day before video of him getting killed in the store. That would be pretty creepy. Very good idea for the second tape. Fucking.
To me, this is like the good horror hook of the movie is when he sits down and watches the tape of a murder happening in his own video store.
Mm-hmm. That would be fucking very creepy. See, I remember thinking like this one, they could have, like if this was a movie with more money and like more kind of professional, they would have had more shots to his reaction watching this instead of just watching the whole tape and then cutting to him afterwards. Very, like if anything, you don't know, like is he enjoying this? Like he's just fucking like he got some popcorn there. He's doing the Michael Jackson meme.
They cut back and he's surprisingly masturbating.
Exactly. What's that fucking poster behind him? Is that the Jumpin' Jack Flash or fucking...
No, it's Sally Field movie. I actually have that movie on my DVR right now. I've been meaning to watch it.
Oh, you see right there above that guy's head? That's Critters.
Critters, baby.
Fucking...
And To Live and Die in L.A. next to that one.
Oh, yes.
I miss the day, too, when video stores, like, you can kind of, they don't show it real good, but you can kind of see, like, the different accessories and shit he has. Like, he'll sell you blank tapes. It looks like he'll even sell you a VCR if you want to.
Oh, yes. See, that's the one thing they bring up in this, in the movie. They're like, oh, yeah, fucking, our customers, like 80% of people in this town have a VCR. And it's like, that used to be a thing people talked about. Like, fucking, back in the day, like, I remember, like, some of the early days of written videos at the video store. Like, sometimes, like, back in the older times, they'd let you rent a VCR because it wasn't something everybody had. It was like, they were kind of more, fucking, an extravagant type of thing. Like, not many people just have, that much money laying around. And so they'd rent them. Very Chad.
Yeah, you can rent a VCR. Because I remember, like, when VCRs first came out, they're like $600-800. And my dad always worked overnight. So, like, when he would come home at, like, 5-6 in the morning, there would be nothing on TV for him. Because that was like the days, baby, when like the TV stations just like I don't know what it was, 1 o'clock in the morning. They just they played the national anthem, and then they went to fuzz. So, so we got one early, and we had like it was like a precursor to cable TV. Before my area had cable TV, they had something called On TV. I still got some videotapes that were taped off On TV. And it was just basically like a guy came and put a special antenna on your roof that only picked up like it was kind of like a satellite dish before satellite dish. It was just an antenna, but it was like you needed a special antenna to pick up basically the cable TV. And it was like a few channels, and like one was like a movie channel. So like my dad would record shit off there, and that way when he came home, in the middle of the night, he had shit to watch. So we had one probably like really early 80s, like literally 80, 81, 82-ish, something around there, like when I was real little. And then it was very cheap. But I remember a lot of people, it was more like mid to late 80s before they had a VCR, and finally the prices went down, you know what I mean?
Did you see that boomer ass fucking phone he was holding calling the fucking police station right there? Yeah, that boomer ass fucking like.
I thought that was very Chad.
That weird rest that they used to have at like schools for like the
it was like a hook that you would put on the phone, like it would stick with sticky tape, and then that way you could like put the phone up to your like shoulder, like wedge it in between your shoulder and your ear, like
propped it up, yeah.
Because for him, it was if he was like looking shit up on the computer and he had the phone, if people call up, hey, you got this tape or something, he could have looked up on the computer.
I was gonna mention though, did your parents ever do the illegal thing? Fucking actually, this never happened in my household, but fucking just for the bit, we're gonna bring up. Did your parents ever do that illegal thing where you rent a VCR and dub videos from the video store?
We actually never did that because
because of libel, fucking wink, wink, fucking nudge, nudge.
Yeah, like honestly, it wasn't till we only ever had like my entire time growing up. We only ever had one VCR in the house, and the only time that changed was the late '90s when I got a TV that had a VCR built in, and then that's how I did the tape to tape editing for my cable access show. I would pick up my 20-inch TV that was and carry it all the way downstairs, or I would take the VCR upstairs. But a lot of times it would just be easier for me to carry the TV downstairs, and I would. So that was the only time. But I never did like the video to video thing like that. The only exception is I would play, like I would do it. I made some music videos where like I basically made like highlight tapes from different movies, and then I dubbed a song over it. You know what I mean? I did that, but I didn't really like we recorded tons of movies off HBO, but we were never like, let's get the tapes and hook up multiple VCRs, baby.
Mm-hmm. This right here is a good scene. He brings the tape of the second killing of his coworker to the sheriff. He's basically like, oh, I have proof here. And he's fucking, okay, put it in. He's fucking like acting all, is he pretending or is he like just fucking really boomer about fucking how the VCR works? He puts in the tape, they start playing it, and they're waiting for something to happen. Like, hold on, it'll happen. I queued it up already. And fucking, then they realize he hit record. And it's like, oh, fuck, was that a mistake or is our boy in on it? Does it go as deep as the fucking, the sheriff himself?
Yeah, like, and the thing is like, he's like, oh, sir, I work with these machines for a living. Let me do it. Like, how could somebody start recording right in front of you and you not realize?
Just plot convenience. I like it too. Whenever they take the tape out, you see that they did that trick where you put the Scotch tape on the little hole in the bottom left. If he didn't want that to happen, he could have just taken that tape off. Fucking if he was. But the plot convenience, I guess, it wouldn't have done us any good to find out right here that the fucking sheriff's in on it, because then we got like a whole other half of the movie where they our budget's too low to film them fucking leaving town and shit like that.
We never used it because we generally there are a few times a tape, like especially my dad, he would just record it over the same tape over and over, because he would just be recording stuff off TV to watch, not really taping it to saving it. So but if you got the blank tapes, baby, they came with the tab in there. And then if you wanted to save the tape to where it could never be recorded off, you broke that little tab off, and it would stop it from being able to be a record over. Yeah. I didn't know that till like very late in the game.
Me too, exactly. It's like, how many fucking things I could have, because like I used to have so much shit recorded that I never wanted to lose, and then I'd fall asleep with the fucking tape in the VCR when a timer was on or something. Yeah, fucking very low T.
Very low T. And I'm actually impressed though, because you're younger than me. I'm impressed impressed that you had this much experience with tapes in general.
Exactly. It seems like fucking the love of wanting to be a filmmaker kind of brought people into that. Fucking everybody that can relate to that was like, oh yeah, I was doing that. I was editing fucking VHS tapes with 2 VCRs. It was a fucking nightmare. But I remember I watched James Rolfe, the scuff version of James Golf, who did this movie. Fucking he did basically a whole thing where he was talking about his early days, and it's like fucking it sounded like my life story, baby, but we never knew each other.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of weird about this movie, Zach, and I didn't think about it till because when I watched it the other night, I had watched the interview, and I was like, oh yeah, like I think I knew it at one time that these people were really married, the husband and wife. But it's weird that like they like considering like, hey, if you got a husband and wife, like take advantage of it. You know what I mean? It's like they never do anything intimate. They never really hug. They never kiss. Like I think there's one part where she rubs his shoulders, but I would at least have the real life married couple just kiss real quick. You know what I mean? Just to kind of establish that relationship. And they never. I don't think, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they ever do.
Yeah, I would have been like, can you guys fuck and I'll just film it.
Well, I would have been like that too, but it just at the very least for the movie's sake, that would have been more after hours.
Exactly. Fucking, you gotta shoot it a certain way so that they can't see the cum spurt when you're in the side jacking off. And we're like, fucking, we just gotta make sure that don't fucking show up on the film. But like, fucking, I would have been like, why not? Like, just fucking, hell yeah, fucking go for it. Like, you guys can make a name for yourself, like a real movie. Go for the whole thing. Method act, baby.
Because they're wearing the real wedding rings in this movie.
Chad. Very Chad.
I just finished it, but you know what I was drinking, baby? Since it's July, I was drinking some Mountain Dew USA. Did I tell you about that yet?
Mountain Dew USA? That's a
Mountain
thing?
Dew USA? Yeah, it's a thing, baby. It's limited edition. It's got a patriotic can, and there's 3 flavors collide in it: Code Red, Whiteout, and Voltage. It's good.
What is more American than that? Did it come with a free gun?
No, it didn't.
Fucking, I want my money back.
You got to get 3 cases of it and then cut out the little proof of purchase to send it in to get the gun. They don't come in the case or nothing.
Exactly, but it does make you big cum.
Yeah, big cum.
You get it.
It tastes, Mountain Dew USA tastes good, man, and I know I can drink it. Now I like the way where they toast. I like this shot zooming in on that. That was some good directorial choice there.
Exactly. That was very fucking
Day 3.
right before it fades into day 3. Fucking that basically, this is the last day, ain't it? So like that's the point of no return. Fucking they toast to one last moment of fucking just non chaos happening in their lives, baby, in the side of things to come.
Finally, we get a very Chad vehicle in this movie after seeing the station wagons and the little crappy cars. We get like a pretty cherry, nice Jeep Laredo here, baby.
Oh, yeah. And this is where we find out that, like, yeah, it goes pretty deep, the conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to get basically 2 newcomers stopping by, and we see fucking, we see like a on-duty fucking police officer basically in on it, fucking step inside or in front of a store while they're killing somebody so no one comes in. Very, very crooked, everybody in this fucking town. They're just fucking killing everybody to make it for the films.
Holy shit, I think a Ferrari is parked down the street. That's weird. But, yeah, like, even this old lady's in on it. So to me, that was, the old lady being in on it was even more insidious than the cop being in it, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Fucking the old hag. Fucking just mistreating you and your trust.
No, the killers were sitting in a parked car nearby, and they saw this, like, they know everybody who lives there, so when a new car comes into town, they know it's a potential victim. I thought that was interesting. Like, do those guys, like, do they work a job, and then that's what they do on their off days, or they just do, like, does the town pay them full-time to make the snuff tapes for them? Like,
yeah.
Like, I almost think you could do a legit prequel to that and explore it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Fucking, like, legit logistics. Do they even, like, are they just paid to really sit there and be actors? Or do they actually have to do police shit?
Now, I was going to say that when they was driving the Jeep through the town, you saw a little bit more of the town right there. I don't know about you, but, like, I got strong vibes. It reminded me a lot of the little town that was in the beginning of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then, like, the girl who's in the store, not this girl in the Jeep, but the girl who's in the store, wait till they show her. She looks like that Pamela Springsteen chick from the Sleepaway Camp sequels.
Oh, so Pamela Springsteen's it's total Stacy in Part 3. That fucking wig dude, though. I wonder what happened to Pamela Springsteen.
I don't know, but this girl in the Jeep is very Stacy. Like, for this being a shot-on-video movie, usually when you see them, they get kind of, like, boring-looking everyday people. But they got a lot of good, attractive women, especially to be in this movie.
Exactly. See, there he is, fucking standing in front of the door. And this is probably the hokiest acting in the movie. These 2 guys right here.
Yeah. But I think it's meant to be comical, don't you?
Possibly. Well, like, yeah, it comes off as, like, these are, like, basically just some college kids that got to be in the movie, and they basically, okay, you're going to drink this Coke, and it's drugged, and basically you start throwing up, and you pass out, and they give you, like, a very fucking, like, basically first attempt at doing that, and then it was like, oh, that's it. That's all we can get. That's the only take we need. But it's like, they needed to do that at least another once or twice.
Yeah, they go to this, like, little general store / deli where they make sandwiches, too. And the guy's like, oh, you got to try my lemonade. So, like, he doesn't even, like, pour it into, like, to-go cups. He gives them, like legit glasses. Like, they got to chug it before they leave the store.
And he just drinks it all in one. Like, why
Yeah.
would you just trust something like that?
I know. The pretty dank issue of Fangoria the guy was looking at, though. It's got the fly on it.
There, yeah.
No, immediately they're like, oh, strychnine, blah.
And they're just like, oh, yeah, we got him with our big cum drink. Fucking...
Yeah, and then they start throwing up the cum, too. That's kind of... his sunglasses fell in the cum, too.
There's those soggy sunglasses now.
No, if you was making a poison lemonade like that, where you knew it was going to instantly kill somebody, so it didn't really matter what else was in there, like, what else would you put in there?
Fucking cum. Big cum.
Exactly. I knew you'd say that.
Fucking cyanide, fucking battery acid. Mm-hmm. What wouldn't I put in there, basically? Take a shit in there, maybe? And then see this is how their whole shtick works. Fucking.
There's like a guy hiding in the shop over there. Do you see that?
Yeah. Was that a crew member that was just caught?
I don't know. That's weird because there's like a shop. Oh, he's gone now. There's like a shop garage, and but it works for the story because it could have just been a townsperson being like, "Oh, I want to see Howard and Eli kill some people," you know?
Yeah. So like. Howard and Eli are in another fucking van. They come out and jump in the other car while the other guys are locked in there getting killed and kill the other girl. It's just like a big shtick, a big scheme. It's like we're going to fucking go out and make movies, just kill people, and then give them to the fucking video store for people to rent. Very weird town, this one.
Well, coming up, too, there's like just a kind of a filler scene where they just show a guy at home watching one of the tapes.
Yeah, did you recognize him?
No, who was that guy?
That's Kevin Smith in the alternate reality where he was never fat. Fucking really weird. He had the fucking what was it, the heart attack scare? He had that way earlier in his life, and he lost the weight long time.
But you know what's weird though? If you see actual legit high school pictures of Kevin Smith, he actually wasn't fat back then.
Oh yeah. See, there's our
decapitated head,
severed head.
I felt like this scene because it was like more over the top than the rest of the movie. I felt like this was like a weird homage to Blood Diner or Blood Feast or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's probably a very over the top kind of scene to put in it because it's just like, and then he puts it because you think it's like that's over the top, and then he puts it in this fucking like the pot, like and says "soup's up" or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like he makes a head soup. Like I mean, I'm not criticizing it. It's actually fine for what it is, but it's just almost like that to me. That scene feels like somebody else directed it or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like one of those things after they finished the movie, they're like, oh shit, we didn't have enough killing in it, so we got to do one more thing. You know what I mean?
Or we want to add some camp to it because the movie's very like serious and straight toned until like something like that. But it's like it makes sense because it's like, oh, he probably just said that for the camera. They're making their weird home movies.
Yeah.
And then they take this chick out to the woods. What are they doing?
I actually forgot about this scene, but yeah, they just roll her body into like the lake, kind of.
What are you hiding it from? Not everybody's in on it. Fucking.
Well, they should have just took it to the store because then that guy could have made some more head soup or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, these like I don't know what you call them, deli guys, butcher guys. They like I wonder if they were insinuating because later on the guy's wife comes in to buy lunch meat. I wonder if they were insinuating that like the lunch meat at this place was made out of humans.
There's the shot where he's got his fucking finger covering the lens.
Yeah, well he is coming. I mean, let's be honest.
Exactly. See that's a creepy image. Have you ever like worked in the meat department or something?
No. I've gotten meat from places where I watched them slice it like that, but I never did.
He's slicing a hand like a fucking big cow meat, like in the meat department. And I was wanted to work in a meat department because it seems like, oh, that'd be cool because you don't have fucking customers to deal with. But then I always kind of felt like, oh man, that would be kind of intimidating working with because it's so easy to kind of get in like that mood where you're at work and you're kind of half asleep and you're sleepwalking through it. And then, like, you notice you're doing something totally dangerous. It's like, oh, shit. It's like, that'd be scary to have to work around shit like that.
Yeah, I don't get what this guy's doing, his project outside. He's, like, digging out a foundation or something. It's weird.
He's living in the same house that fucking Kevin Bacon moves into in Stir of Echoes, where he's digging all those holes.
Oh, yeah.
And he's basically.
I like how the guy was outside digging, and he had a like just a glass from your house. He had a glass of beer chilling outside.
He picked it up and he like dropped a little piece of it on him. And he's like, yeah, put it back down, man.
Like, why wouldn't you take the beer bottle or the beer can outside? I mean, it's a town where everybody kills people. Like, but if you notice though, I like the set. He's got a very Chad house. Like, it's like a weird wood cabin, even though he lives in the middle of town.
Exactly. It's probably the director's house. He just told his buddy to come over and they're gonna shoot a scene real quick. Like, oh yeah, I just got one more scene and then the running time is perfect. And then fucking that's a decent shot.
Effect, yeah. They're macheting. So this guy, we don't know who he is. Like, he doesn't ever he's only in this one scene of this movie. It's just to show that people watch the tapes or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's kind of a filler scene. But it's interesting too because it's like he's kind of like he's doing that thing where he doesn't have much to play, so he's trying to fill in so he's like, oh, let's see what this is. Oh, what's this going to be on it? Oh, what's this right here? And then he's like watching the violence. He's like, ha ha ha. And then at the end, he turns off. He's like, that was pretty good. And he's like in a room by himself.
Yeah, it's like, who are you talking to? He says, oh, not too bad. Because I remember thinking, like, that could mean that it was bad, like, but it wasn't too bad. Like, maybe this is kind of one of the lower tier fucking snuff films he's seen.
It's one of the B-list releases from Howard and Eli's basement of torture.
But he looks super excited the whole time he's watching it.
Yeah. It's very Chad.
Very excited.
Yeah. He looks pretty stoned, too, watching him zooming on his ass.
He does.
It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was some good shit. I wonder if they just didn't have the guts to have the guy to be like, come on, Eli, chop that bitch up. You know what I mean? Like, be really vulgar with it. I would have made it, like, 10 times more vulgar. And I would have had... Like, to me, if I would have directed at the end, the scene would have ended with him unzipping his pants.
He's probably the priest at the local church in town, and he was, like, dreading the idea that anybody he knows would ever find this movie and see it.
See, we were talking about this. This is a good shot, this tracking shot, following her across the counter there. I thought this was actually a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
It got a creepy stalker vibe to it. And then there's just, like, people in the store, like, leering at her. It's got a good, tense atmosphere.
A lot like that scene in Troll 2 where he goes in and they're just selling milk and it's not even being refrigerated. Like, oh, you want some of our milk? And there's a bunch of people standing around. And it's like, you just have milk sitting out in room temperature? No, I don't want that milk. But no one notices.
They don't really show the face, but I think it's a girl that comes up and slips the tape in her purse.
Yeah, they just, she's at the meat packing plant or the fucking butcher shop, and she's buying something, and they just slip something into her purse, another tape. So, like, fucking, don't want her to know, but they want her to see something. Wonder what's on this third tape. Fucking these crazy motherfuckers. Was that the one that slipped it in the pink shirt, or was it a different person?
Yeah, no, that is a person. It looks like a guy there, but when it was just the hands, it looked more like a woman. That's weird. I think it is a guy.
I think when you said that, I thought, like, I think they do show it, but then I think the guy that they show has a pink shirt, and the one that just slipped it into the bag, I think, had a darker, like, shirt. Maybe I'm wrong. Though.
But they had a bracelet or a watch on, and that person in the background has it too. So
possible.
Can't tell. I think it would be creepier if it was a woman, but then again,
maybe that's Stephanie from Johnny Five.
Oh yeah, it could be her.
Looks like her. Fucking just a woman with a short haircut.
Yeah, you never know. Let's see if the camera gets any closer. I can't tell. Is it Stacy?
I think so.
I see earrings. I think it is a Stacy.
Fucking Stacy.
No, it looks like a guy. I can't tell.
It looked like a woman that had a face like our boy Edward Furlong.
Eddie Furlong. Now, I found this interesting because this is like one of the few scenes, if not the only scene, where we get to see the main character. He lets his ponytail down to let his long hair out. You
know what he's kind of got a resemblance to? Who could have played his character? The Wheeze.
Yeah, I can see that. I
would come the Weasel himself, Pauly Shore.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
You gonna rent some videotapes and munch some grindage?
Exactly. He's like, honey, I know you want to find out who this killer is, but, like, I just want to, like, chill at the pad and, like, munch on some grindage. and do some sex stuff. Okay.
Get a little freaky deaky.
Oh yeah. She kind of looks like the fucking the lady that's like the witch of the West in the Wizard of Oz before she turns into the witch. She's
just a regular lady, yeah.
Riding the bike, yeah.
Oh, Little Zach Productions made this one too. I like this outfit she has on in this scene though, even though it just cut away, which is like the red sleeves. Like they had some good wardrobe for a low budget movie.
Yeah, basically they that lady or guy or whoever it was in the fucking store we saw, she slipped her copy of their shot on video remake of Martin, and this is that scene where Martin's having that weird dream and shit.
Yeah,
that's what I take from this.
The vampire takes her breath. She like this scene, that outfit she has on. It's like probably the most Lorraine Warren's outfit she wears yet.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the new one, baby? Conjuring 3?
I did. I watched it on fucking Max, HBO Max. Yeah. What'd you think of that?
It was one of those things I kind of agree with what people say. Like, it's probably, like, out of the 3 main Conjuring movies, it's probably, like, not the best one. Mm-hmm. But it's still, to me, it was still good. It's still better than all the other shit that comes out. Like, I'd rather watch that than, like, Boss Baby or whatever.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, baby.
Like, it was good. I'll buy it for $5 on Black Friday. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. There's our boy Martin right there. Ricky Martin.
Yeah. This was the in-between time of Menudo and Living La Vida Loca.
Mm-hmm. I gotta do a pee.
Go do it, baby.
I will. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so basically what happens at this point is when the wife was in the deli, somebody came out, slipped in a tape, so they're like, oh, this is weird. Somebody obviously did this on purpose. So they put it in thinking it's going to be another homemade snuff film, but it looks like a low-budget, like actual horror film. There's a guy dressed like Jack, and it's actually a good outfit. He's got the makeup on. He's like, they did some good makeup. He's got the obvious, like, you know, Halloween plastic teeth, but I mean, whatever. And he's like, you know, coming in, and he's got a woman in trance, attractive woman in lingerie. He's taking it off, getting her naked, and then he bites her. So, like, the husband and wife are watching this, and they're like, oh, like, this is just like, you know, it's a low-budget horror movie, but it's just a regular horror movie. Like, why would somebody want to put this in your purse, you know? It even had titles where the other movies didn't have any titles. They're very homemade-looking titles, I should say, but still, you know, they're thrown off. Like, why did somebody put this in your bag? And then after the vampire bites the lady, all of a sudden he'll pull out a knife out of his costume and stab her for real. And then it becomes obvious, like, oh shit, this actually is like a snuff film. Just they kind of like, you know, faked this out first, and did you know, like kind of dressed it up like it was a horror movie, but it actually turned out to be a snuff film for real life, you know. So it's kind of, I thought it was good. It was like an interesting take. They didn't just get a third repetitive homemade snuff film in Eli and Howard's basement. Like, this is actually, you know, a little bit of a you know, kind of subterfuge here. But the guy who plays the vampire, the Count Dracula type, he's actually you know, fits the, he's kind of an unusual looking guy, kind of tall and thin. He's got a you know, interesting face. And that guy actually comes back in the sequel, and I want to say he plays the keyboard player of the band on the Howard and Eli show. When they get their cable access.
See, this tape is the most odd to me because they send this one to him, and this one has like a more just like, well, they talk about like, oh, this isn't like a Hollywood movie, but it's got like it's a little more professional. Was this basically just the director's short film that he wanted to release in some way, so he put it in the movie?
I don't think so, just because both these actors he had in the movie as well. So it'd be a leap of faith to be like, oh, I got this short film, and I'm going to, on this cheap production, I'm going to bring the same actors back to play, like, you know, whatever. I think it was just a way to, like I was telling the viewers, I think the reason they did this, like this fake horror movie that turns out to still be a snuff movie, I think they just did it to make it interesting and not repetitive, to where like they would just be getting a third homemade basement snuff film. They're like, let's do something different, you know.
They do mention that this girl actually wanted to leave because she wanted to be an actress. So maybe that was how they lured her to do this. Basically, oh, we're making a movie, but then they just really killed her.
Well, the husband says, too, I think this is the lady that came in the store with a baby. And I couldn't really tell because the first when that lady came in the store with the baby wanting to rent the horror movie, they didn't really show her face that good, but it does kind of look like her.
Possible, yeah. And then this guy actually shows up a little later in the movie. He's still wearing. Basically, he shows up at the end at the video store whenever they're basically it's under the new management, and he has those teeth in just so that we remember. But there's no reason he would be wearing those in the movie universe.
Well, he keeps joking with the lady like, "Oh, I'm the vampire," or whatever. But like that guy is so distinctive looking, like you would recognize him even without the teeth joke.
Exactly.
Now, I think this is like the most five-head part of the movie right here. Is they're like, is this like they're kind of confused because I mean they know what they've been watching is snuff films, right, baby? Mm-hmm. But like he's confused, like she looks like the girl who came in the store, but I'm not really sure, And he's like, maybe it's a real movie, like they're basically, and this is what's interesting, I think, for maybe younger people or not even younger people, but just even people my age that are just more accustomed to new movies. It's like, oh, pull out the laptop, the phone, let's figure this out in 2 seconds. Like, back in the day when you didn't have these online resources, you had to try to figure shit out manually, be a detective, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, they're racking their brains pretty much in this scene, and she's doing her best Lorraine Warren impersonation, but they're investigating here, and they're trying to figure out, how can we verify if The Vampire Takes a Bride is a legit film, or if it's just more of the same snuff bullshit? Which, like, in a way, I guess it doesn't really matter, because you already know you're living in a town where people, do snuff films. The only thing I would say is a missed opportunity in this scene, Zach, is, like, this shot right here. There's a creepy shot in the background of some moonlit windows. I wish they would have had somebody hiding in the window back there, like, watching them real quick.
Oh, yeah. Something subtle to notice, hell yeah.
Yeah, so basically they're like, oh, well, the wife comes up with the way she's like, call the theater in New York used to manage, like, the projectionist there. He was like a horror movie buff, like he knew everything, right? Ask him if he's heard of The Vampire Takes a Bride. So the husband tries to call, and he gets a message saying, oh, all the circuits are busy, please try back, which I guess that was like an old-timey small town thing, like the city's phone system could only handle so many calls at the same time. And I've actually had that happen back in the day. I don't know if it's why, but, you say, oh, please try again, whatever. Mm-hmm. But the wife says, oh, I got that too when I was trying to call somebody. So he's like, oh, I'll try again. This time he gets through. He gets through to his old theater, but no, he goes, oh, this is weird. Like, there's a recording now. And it says they're playing a special horror double feature tonight with some horror movie and The Vampire Takes a Bride. And they're like, what are the chances that, this movie we've never heard of, we just found out about it today, is playing at my old theater in New York as well,
Yeah, it was Night of the Living Dead, because that...
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because it doesn't cost money to fucking use that title, probably. And
yeah,
bro. It might be implying too that, like, because he couldn't get through, but then he called through the operator, and it might have just been the operator fucking with him. Yeah. Maybe he never really even got to the fucking New York. Because I doubt they would know this fucking weird snuff movie they made. So it's just the fucking operators and all it too now. Fucking.
Well, for sure, because they already said. Remember the wife when she tried to call the postmaster? The lady just transferred the phone line to some other guy.
Oh yeah.
So we know, we've seen it with our own eyes. We know that any phone call you make in this town is monitored. They'll block it because earlier in the movie too, when he was trying to call his wife and stuff, he was trying to talk, and he said the phone line was getting fuzzy and they couldn't hear. So the phone lines are definitely fucked in this town. Mm-hmm. Finally, she gets legit with it and pulls out her Virginia Slim 100. Mm-hmm. She got to blow off some. Look how long that cigarette. That's like a 14-inch cigarette, man. That's crazy.
Fucking, that's like at least a foot.
Isn't that like a weird thing that smoking was not only such a thing, but it was such a woman's thing back then that they made special cigarettes for? Could you made it if some guy just as if I was a smoker in the 80s, just to fuck with people, I would walk around smoking Virginia Slims 100.
Amazing. Oh yeah.
I wonder if you can still buy them fuckers.
Exactly.
You know how they're always like, oh, Pepsi will be like, we'll bring back Pepsi Clear for 6 weeks in gas stations only, and everybody runs to try to get Pepsi Clear for the first time, or New Coke or whatever. Imagine Virginia Slims is like, for only this summer, this March, for 3 weeks, we're bringing back Virginia Slim 100s. And
exactly.
run to get. They probably still make them though. I would doubt. As long as people smoke them.
Exactly. Fucking just do it with everything. Like fucking, we're legalizing cocaine just so we can get for a day, just so we can sell the original Coca-Cola fucking recipe.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of the original things? Yeah.
Yeah, they did that shit.
Fucking.
Finally, they embrace. He still didn't kiss her, but whatever.
Exactly. Day 4. This is the last day. This is where all
this
the
is the
shit
last
is.
day.
Man.
Like this is pretty much like this whole day part 4. This is pretty much like the whole climax.
Mm-hmm. Just like good sex, fucking the last 17 minutes is just a pure like orgasm, just fucking pure euphoria. Just you melting into a pool of your own cum for fucking 17 minutes.
Now you got this car that's got this ding to shit driver's side door. Why don't you shoot the car from the other angle where you ain't looking at the fucked up dinged up door? I mean, it's an ugly car anyway, but.
He thought it adds to our perceived budget. It looks like we fucked up a car just for the character of this movie. Yeah. But it's not that, I just ran into a fucking, one of those fire extinguisher fucking things. Fucking, I forget what they called. Fire extinguisher.
Their open daily was 11 to 6 something. Or no, 11 to 8. And then Saturdays 10 to 6:30.
Oh, yeah. Those signs were fucking, there's something nostalgic about those signs. Like, because usually it's like, oh, yeah, it slides over, and then you got shit you can read. Was it like, a lot of the times it was just like, oh, we had that lame fucking light. When it's not on, we're closed. It's like, that's no fun. How do I know you aren't open and the fucking, the light just went out?
Exactly. Then you got to put a sheet out outside that says, assure you were open.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was interesting, too. Like, we never seen the wife smoke in the whole movie until the last scene. And then the next day she goes to work with him. She calls out sick of her job. She goes into work with him to look through the files. They're going to... I really didn't even understand what she was looking for, but they're looking for more evidence. And she goes into the video store and immediately lights up a cigarette. Like, customers are coming in. She's just blowing smoke right in their face. Like... Did that seem like an odd choice to have her smoking?
It's very weird to see now, but back in the 80s, that would not have been weird. Yeah. Like, back in the 90s, that wouldn't have been, oh, look who it is.
The wheeze. Oh.
Fucking, we all know what becomes of this character, but right now, basically they're setting up like, oh, she's new in town too, and she's noticing everything's weird also. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, they're saying she visits her uncle and aunt every summer, so...
Look at the poster behind her there. Fucking
April Fool's Day, isn't it?
April Fool's Day, yeah.
They had Runaway Train featured prominently in the front window. Do you remember that movie at all?
I don't.
Yeah, it's one of the first movies that our boy Danny Trejo was in. That was his first big... They hired him on as a boxing consultant for Eric Roberts, and then they liked him so much they put him in the movie. It's actually about some, I think John Voight, Eric Roberts, Danny Trejo. It's about some convict guys who literally kind of commandeer and take over a train trying to use it to escape.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of those movies that's not remembered at all, but like it was like one of those ones for like a very brief time. Even though it wasn't like a big theatrical hit, it was always on video, it was always on cable, like all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm. See, that guy came in, he just rented a porno tape. Remember that back in the video stores, they had a porn section.
Yeah, he came in and rented a porno tape right in front of this lady. And right in front of the guy's wife, too, who's smoking. Like, this is very 80s, renting porn and smoking cigarettes in it.
Right in front of the chicks. Very Chad. Big concrete cock on him.
I mean, what else could be more Chad, in all honesty?
Exactly. Fucking, he's working on that. He's making currently that new batch of coom to just fucking disperse all over the place. Big coomer.
Big coom. Don't think about it. So what's interesting about this character comes this new female character. I can't remember if they have her name or not, give her a name or not. But she reminds me of like weirdly of a victim in a Friday the 13th movie. She's got like the pink sweater, showing how busty she is. She's got the bandana tied around her neck, whatever you call that, and then she rides like a 10-speed bike.
From the neck up, she also has fucking the Miss Voorhees haircut. Maybe this is Miss Voorhees. This is the prequel, baby. This is the summer she was going to the fucking camp before Jason drowned. Fucking, we didn't know she had this side gig where she was fucking, owning, selling, fucking making fucking snuff films. Very
Exactly.
Stacy.
I forgot to mention too, she has the Walkman earphones around her neck. So I mean, this is just so 80s right there with this character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a boom mic was up by the fan.
They had a boom mic for this movie. That's so cute.
I saw it. They were trying to blend it in with there's a ceiling fan in the store, and it was like laying like next to the fan blades. But then it started bubbling, bobbling.
They had a boom mic, but the audio is still this bad. Like you would just expect it's the fucking built-in audio mic on the camcorder, but no.
The shotgun mic, yeah. Now this is where we realize Howard and Eli, they jacked that sweet Jeep Laredo, right?
Yup. They're getting ready to kidnap the girl, the fucking Stacy that was just in there, and then they're gonna follow her to her fucking basically try to help her, and little do they know this is all set up. And she's like kind of the mastermind and fucking chasing them to their demise. That
seat was interesting. When it raised up, there was still like a slanted platform there. Like the seat didn't, like it just went all the way forward. It didn't like scoot up. And it was like a block underneath it. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
So going back to the video store itself, it was one of those ones where they have the tapes hidden behind the counter. Did you ever go to a video store that was like that, Zach?
Yeah, like my earliest video store was like that, like fucking, and like you take the I remember that one they had like a laminate over the box, and then they had like a little card that you took out because they had multiple copies, so the amount of cards was how many copies. You didn't take you didn't take the little artwork up there. You just took the card, and then they gave you like a brown fucking case that had the movie in it.
Always a brown case, every store, right?
The older ones, yeah.
Yeah, like most of them had a card. I had ones where like this one, there was actually a couple where they put like little tags, they're like pogs that like had just the number written on it. Mm-hmm. And you would take the little pog up. And it was funny too, because I worked in a video store. I worked in like a big corporate store. I worked in Hollywood Video, and we would do the thing where we put the actual tapes on the like on the shelf, you know. And like the DVDs were like in a case that locked, like you had to take a lock off to get the DVD out. But the videotapes, it didn't matter. They were just like in these like squeeze cases. So if somebody wanted to just take it out of the case, they could or just steal the whole videotape. They could have. But nobody like we had thefts of some DVDs, but by that point nobody wanted to steal the videotapes. But I remember people would bring the display box up, going, "Here, I want to rent this," and I'm like, "Well, if the display box was all there was, that means the movie's out." And they'd be like, "What? Why was the box there then?" It's like we can't keep fucking 6,000 empty boxes behind the counter and then restock them every time the movie comes back in.
Yeah, that was we just talked over one of the most high octane car chase scenes in film history. By the way,
the slow follow, yeah,
amazing. High octane, the highest.
Well, what's weird too is like when they get there, like he confronts the killers kind of half-assed. He kind of gets out of the car, him and his wife, and they look at them. And the one guy, Howard, the guy who normally runs the video camera, he's got a pocket knife, and he's like, "This doesn't concern you." Blah.
Yeah,
I
think that's the only. Was that an overdub, an audio?
It sounded like it. Yeah.
That's what I know. Like it sounded very like it stuck out. It didn't even sound like the same director or the actor. Almost.
No. He probably wasn't there, and the director was in the studio. I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta loop this in."
Yeah, which is weird because it's like, oh, this is the line that I think is a little too muffled to understand. I'm going to redo this one. Like all the ones he's not doing. I wonder how bad that one was.
This is the scene with them standing on top of the stairs and going down the basement that has the really bad tracking line, Jimmy.
Yeah, the original master tape of this has like a tracking issue. Like fucking the tape is a little eaten up on the top there.
Yeah.
So it's just part of the film forever. Fucking they can never clean that up.
Because you can't even do like if the lines are at the bottom, they could maybe like crop it a little bit to crop it out, but it's at the top where their faces are, so it's like.
And then it's jarring when it cuts away and then it's gone because it's like, oh, it was only on that one take because it doesn't continue into the next shot.
And this is the only part where I would say it's like legit shot on shitio because they're going into this dark basement. And for, like, video VHS tape filming, like, yeah, if you don't have enough light, it gets all grainy and blurry, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So this is where we find out that the girl that Howard and Eli kidnapped, the customer at the store, that they thought was an ally, because she was like, yeah, I noticed these people are really weird in this town too. You know, they always want to watch these homemade fake horror movies or whatever they are. Well, they kidnapped her, and that was just a cunning ruse attempt, as Randall Graves would say, to get them to walk down into this basement, because she's actually kind of like the ringleader of the town, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to a point I was going to make. I forgot. Nimrod Antle. Did that motherfucker rip off the idea of vacancy from video violence? Yes. He might have.
Because my fiance was watching Vacancy the other day. It was ironic, and she was just like, "Oh, like, you know, like, because she just leaves movies on the movie channel while she's like playing her game on the computer. She's like, oh, that movie's so scary, and the videotapes of the people getting killed." And then I was talking a couple of days after I watched Video Violence again. I was explaining to her, I was like, "Yeah, like, it's shot on video, so most people would just, like, you know, discount it or, you know, not take it seriously." I was like, "But it's got a great plot." And I was telling her what it was about, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds like Vacancy." I'm like, exactly. Fucking Nimrod Antel.
Fucking Nimrod. He told us from the beginning he was a Nimrod. He didn't have his own ideas. He had to steal from this fucking movie.
Well, another thing that's funny, too, is when they go down to the basement and the lady starts giving them the spiel, she's like, "You guys," this is the best dialogue, she's like, "You guys are from New York, right? So you know all about people making their homemade pornos and trading them around." I'm like, was that ever a thing? Do people do that? Especially in New York, do they trade homemade pornos?
Probably, like, actually, yeah. Maybe.
Like, here's a tape of me and my wife fucking. You're like, okay, I'll watch you and your wife fuck.
Well, she's probably referring to the big porno boom, but they weren't trading them. They were fucking filming them, making money, and selling them.
Exactly, just trading them for free.
Exactly.
So this lady kind of does a big speech here that kind of lays everything out. You know, this is what they've been doing. It's
basically like, oh yeah, they had their big porno boom. We want the big video violence boom. We want fucking to sell all these snuff films in house and stuff.
This lady, like, I don't have anything bad to say about her, but it's just odd that, like, from the point she comes into the movie, like, she kind of becomes the star of the movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, in a way, like, she's probably the most over the top kind of character.
Yeah. Like, she has the most dialogue. She's, like, got the most coverage. Now, this was an interesting effect, the slow-mo effect, Zach. Did you notice this?
I did. It goes on a little too long.
And it's like they just slowed the videotape so everybody's laughing, but it's like...
We only needed that so far, but now it cuts back and it continues even longer.
I felt like they could have done something a little bit better. Like, I understand you probably don't want to do a lot of physical action. You don't want people to get hurt. But they could have done, like, some quick glimpses of because, like, the husband and wife, they don't even try to get away. Like, Howard's just standing in front of the doorway so they can't escape. They don't even try to get past him. They just apparently, you know, the film kind of cuts the black here, fades the black. But, like, I guess they grab them. But, like, still, even then, they're not fighting for their lives very much. You know what I mean?
Well, they realize they're totally red pill now. They don't want to survive in a world like this. They've completely lost all hope. Basically they're black pilled. They're based in black pill now. They've taken the black pill. They are incels, if you will. They've accepted their fate.
They don't even beg for their life. Like, oh, we won't tell. Just let us run the video store for you. Like, they don't think of anything. They're just like, okay, we'll get them. Now here's day 5, the epilogue.
I was wrong again. I was wrong twice in this fucking commentary.
You were basing Coco.
Fuck me.
I do like the name of the video store, though, don't you? The Video Studio.
Not generic at all. Exactly. Fucking Video Studio. New management, and now look, she's just got a bunch of white fucking pages, basically for the covers.
They're styrofoam.
Okay.
They're styrofoam bricks.
Yeah, those are the covers for the movie, and they just put the name of the victim and then the birth and death date, basically, like a little tombstone, and they just rent them out.
Well, there's some of them, not the ones on the main counter, but some that they show later that say, like, strangulation or hammer or whatever on them. Mm-hmm. But this lady really came over the show. Like, all of a sudden, she's got this, like, really kind of, like, cheesy, like, sweet, calling everybody hun and all this stuff, like... Mm-hmm. Here's the vampire he's renting, and they got special T-shirts too that say "I'm a lifer at the Video Studio" because they have a sign you have to be a lifer to rent because they won't just let anybody. Now, what if somebody did come in and was like, "Oh, I just want to rent a video. I'm just in town for the weekend or something." Like, aren't they going to catch on with all this lifer shit like all over the store?
Yeah. Oh, well, what is it? Some weird segregation shit? You fucking. There's some movies we're not allowed to watch. Like they would immediately know it's either sex or fucking something. Something like yeah. They're either showing each other their sex films to each other. Like what the fuck? Or it's something like really crazy. Yeah.
Now here's the scene where she keeps telling the customers, like, after they run their videos, stick around, we got a big preview coming on the TV over there, you know what I mean? And she's all laughing like it's so fun. And it's just like those shitty, like, blurry titles you can't even really read what it
Coming
says.
soon. It's basically it's basically there is a little sneak peek at their new tape coming out, and it's the remains of our stars of the movie. And I think they should have it shows one still frame right here of them dead. While the credits were going, I probably would have tried to get some more shots to kind of cut to as it's.
Which, by the way, they show the husband and wife dead. Do you realize they're naked now?
Are they? Okay, yeah.
You look at him. His shirt is off. You can see her shoulder. She doesn't have any shirt or bra on. Yeah.
See, what if they made them have sex? The dead bodies have sex like they were like toys. Fucking, that's their video. Like fucking, oh, he's walking around with this big body. He's like, hey, honey. Oh, fucking, they're trying to make movies like that. That'd be weird to watch.
Well, it's weird too because they don't even put the stars of the movie first in the credits. It's hard to figure out who stars in the movie. But they're buried in the thing.
See, is this an order of appearance or an order of importance?
I think appearance. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be funny if the credits said in order of importance? Like, how would you get away with doing that? All your cast is gonna fucking hate you as soon as they see the movie now.
I always thought it was weird that people did in appearance, order and appearance. I always thought that was strange. Yeah, it makes sense, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fucking, to me, that makes more sense than alphabetical order. It's like you kind of expect, or just like you expect the star to be at the very top usually, and it's weird.
It makes sense too to put the main characters first. I would say.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, that's a fun movie. I think it holds up, and it has a charm to it.
I really like it to the point that I made Phil Dees watch it with me again. But it was one of those things. I just rented the movie from Netflix, and I watched both of them. And then, as soon as I sent the DVD back, I just looked it up and ordered a copy from Best Buy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if this movie's still in print. Did you hear, baby, about the special edition? Oh, look, there's little Zach. There he is. He's got Vulcan ears, little Zach does.
He does. What the fuck? That hideous shut of a fucking kid. He gives Zach a bad name.
He does. But yeah, the director, they were showing, once the DVD came out, people were started showing this movie theatrically, and he was watching it with the audience. He was like, oh, I had to rush the editing or whatever. Mm-hmm. So some things I didn't get to edit the way I wanted to, baby. So he went in and they made a special. It was him and Lunch Meat Video or whatever it is. They made a special edition where apparently he edited both movies together into one movie. Mm-hmm. And it was a special edition, and they sold cards. It was a whole package, and I can't remember exactly how many they made. It wasn't many. I think 100 or less or something. But they sold cards that were from the video studio, and the shirt that those guys were wearing at the end, the yellow shirt, it came with that T-shirt. I would like to see that, but yeah, it was only on that very limited VHS release. But
I wonder how that would play. Would you have to make part two kind of come in little segments throughout, stretch the first movie out further and just make it so part two's kind of happen in between in these little sections? Yeah.
Well, I'm blanking on the name because they made 3 movies in a row pretty much over the course of 2 or 3 years. They made Video Violence, and then they made this other movie they made, which was another serious horror movie, and then they made Video Violence 2. And he said the movie they made in the middle was so serious, that's why they wanted to do so much comedy in Video Violence 2. But I think it would be jarring if you edited it together because there's not too much humor in Video Violence, and Video Violence 2 is pretty much all humor, I think.
Yeah. Guess what this movie has on IMDb, the average? Probably
a 3.
It's actually higher than that. It's a 5.3 out of 10. That's somehow a little low.
Yeah, it's
just
a little
because
low.
the story deserves better than that, I think. And then like
Yeah,
it's mostly down because like people
the
probably rented
budget.
not even
Yeah.
realizing this was shot on video. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would rent this. I think this movie would have been right for me. Like, when I watch it, I'm just like, oh man, if the guy could have had like 16 millimeter and shot it like Kevin Smith did with Clerks or something, I think the movie would be like a legit, like, more of a cult classic. Like, it's kind of more of a classic now just because it's shot on video, like the novelty of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if the guy had like film equipment and a little bit better budget just to do it on film, I think the movie would have, been even better. I mean, the movie's good now. Like, it's hard to rate it because personally, me, like, going into it, like, if they shot on a video, I wouldn't really take points away from that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, like, you're going to watch a video movie. If you don't like that aspect of it, just don't watch it. But for me personally, just like my own entertainment value, like, this is like a really good cult film to me. I would probably rate it a 7 out of 10. Like,
Me too, exactly. Yeah, at least a 7.
Like, the only thing that I would have like done differently is maybe cut out like some of the like the filler kill, because I don't even think you really needed that many kills in it, to be honest. Like, like the part where they killed the people at the deli, and like I don't even think you really needed that. I would have kind of trimmed that part out of it and just put in more of the character shit, because I'm like, they had good actors for the husband and wife. Like they could have done more scenes with them.
Yeah, I do like that campy scene, but it didn't need it. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like a bad scene in a movie onto itself, but it didn't really feel like it really like fit this movie that much, if you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun though. Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I wouldn't say anything, but I would recommend it to anybody who's like, especially people that are like, some people are more open to independent filmmaking than others. It's like, I think if you don't mind independent films at all, I think you should watch it.
I do get like weird, oddly nostalgic, like for like this movie and then like Camp Blood 1 and 2. Even though like Camp Blood 1 and 2 is very, very fucking cheesy, basically like a ripoff of Friday the 13th, but like with a clown mask killer, but very fucking just so dumb and fun to watch. Like I got a DVD of like both those, and then like a third one that's like a little bit higher. Like, yeah, those first two, like I rented a lot from, like, it was like Family Video opened up in like early 2003, and I remember they had like fucking those two on VHS, and I rented them a lot.
That Family Video you used to go to, did it make it till recently when they shut them all down, or did it close years ago?
It made it, basically they shut ours down, and then like 3 months later the whole thing was going down. Like, so it was one of those they might have shut down early knowing that it was going to happen, but we didn't know about it yet.
Yeah, from what my understanding, what happened with Family Video was, because for people who don't know, people are like, well, how did Family Video, like there's always these articles like, how did Family Video survive and Blockbuster didn't? Basically, Family Video, in a way, like, it's not a scheme, it's just a business plan, but pretty much what they would do is they actually would buy the land, and then they could afford to keep a video store going because they weren't paying high rent because they owned the land. So, like, I don't think they were doing gangbusters, like, from what they were saying, like, yeah, business has been declining the last couple of years, but like they were able to keep most of them open because they weren't paying rent anywhere, and they would always rent out the space next to them to somebody else. But pretty much what really killed their business was when Hollywood took a shit during the pandemic and wasn't releasing new movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I did watch that new documentary, The Last Blockbuster. Did you watch that?
I did watch that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was too. Yeah.
That was another thing too. When that documentary, people came out like, yeah, you know what, people, you stupid fuckers who are nostalgic for Blockbuster. Blockbuster was the worst. They had the most late fee. I was just like, listen, motherfucker. When I had a choice of where to rent videos, I didn't go to Blockbuster. I didn't. It like I went there for a few years, and then some other stores opened. I abandoned Blockbuster. That's okay. That's fine. But when it got down to where nobody was left in Blockbuster, like where I live now, when I came here, like the only store that was so I did go to Blockbuster for like a year when I moved here until they closed down. It was better than nothing, motherfuckers. Shut your mouth, you dirty cocksuckers.
I actually didn't have a Blockbuster in my hometown. There was one
Yeah.
like kind of like 40 minutes away. So I bought movies from there like once or
Yeah.
twice. But I like the documentary more as like just like about video stores in general.
Yeah, about video store in video stores and the way they are in your town and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did kind of like gloss over Lloyd Kaufman and kind of like, oh, he's a bitter old man, but like
Yeah.
he kind of had a pretty good reason to not like Blockbuster. They did blacklist his movies. Like, yeah, I get it. Fucking, he seemed like the sourpuss there.
Yeah. But you know, any place where you could, like, as a film distributor, any place you could sell films, whether it be the mom and pop shops, the big stores, you know, the DVD kiosks that they have now, like Redbox, like that's, people don't understand. They're like, oh, I don't like that place, I'm glad it went out of business. It's like, okay, like, you might not have liked this particular video store, fine, don't go there, don't give them your money. But if they're open, that means they're buying movies, and that's good for the movie business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And especially video stores, because it's like your local movie theater. Yeah, they're gonna just show whatever cuck bullshit that Hollywood's gonna spit out. But a video store is gonna buy all the obscure, cheap movies just to fill the shelves. So it's like, people who hate on video stores, it's like, okay, I get it, you didn't like it, but to sit here and be like, oh, you dumb motherfuckers, you actually, you know, you're sitting here so nostalgic for a video store. It's like, I don't know. To me, that's pretty short-sighted, you know.
I get being like, oh yeah, I'm not super nostalgic for it, but I like the convenience now. But like fucking turning on it completely, like fuck it, I hate it now. Like that's weird. I used to go to the video store and basically do what I do digitally on Netflix now, and just make like an hour out of fucking walking around looking for something, and then still just leave not getting anything, like because you couldn't decide what you wanted to watch.
Yeah, when I worked at the video store, and granted, I mean, it was a fairly large video store, but like people would come in all the time and just look for, you know, I was never the person, in all honesty, to go like an hour, but I would go 20 minutes looking around. But there's some people, especially people on dates, younger people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They would walk around and look for a movie for an hour and then pick something out, you know?
Sometimes it was just fun to go there after school with a buddy and just talk about movies as you're walking down, and fucking, it's just like, yeah, it's a way to pass the time, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the whole reason why I worked at a video store, was I wanted that I didn't necessarily know that they were going to go away in a couple years, but I'm glad I got to do it. Just because, and I was happy working at a video store just because, you just got to be around movies all the time. And like, I didn't really have the Quentin Tarantino experience where I got to like, you know, talk to customers all day about movies and shit. But I used to like just like restocking the shelves, emptying out the dump bin, checking the movies in, you know, just looking at the covers. Like you just, if you love movies, and I do, like just being around them and like that's another thing when people are like, oh, fuck your dirty, shitty physical media. I'm streaming everything now. I'm so high and mighty. I'm streaming. I was just like, in a world where there's no like physical movie product, whether it be a poster, a t-shirt, a keychain, a videotape, whatever, when there's no physical like movie product, and I'm not even saying like you have to like buy it or collect it or whatever, but I mean, just the fact when it doesn't exist, I'm sorry, but the world of streaming is fucking boring. It's boring as fuck. Like,
exactly, they don't have everything, and fucking, what's gonna have like? Are we one day gonna have the like basically the COVID equivalent to the digital realm, where fucking the internet's just off for like fucking a year, and people fucking go crazy because they can't watch any fucking physical shit? That'd be donk.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny that people think that the digital shit is the ultimate destination. This is where it's going to ride forever. It's like, nobody ever thought network TV would take a big shit either the way it has. So, like, if you think you're streaming dog shit, because most of these companies are losing money. I mean, I don't think that's, like, a secret. Eventually, fuckers are going to get out of this, and then you won't have access to hardly anything other than if you just want to, like, rent it one-on-one. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that cool, man. I mean, it's fine. I use it every day. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, if the choice to me is to fire up the Paramount Plus and watch the latest Mark Wahlberg fucking epic, or fucking just turn on YouTube and watch my boy the King Cobes making wands in his living room, I'm going to be watching King Cobra JFS.
Exactly. You got to make it a Cobra night every night.
Before we log off, man, I gotta say, we got the show is pretty much the podcast is dedicated to our boy Joe Berlinger now. Yeah, he's got some competition going on, baby. have you seen anything on Epix about the new docuseries Fall River?
I haven't.
I watched. It's a 4-part docuseries. I watched the first 3 episodes so far. It's about what was branded as some satanic killings in the woods, man. And it's produced by Blumhouse. Blumhouse is coming for our boy Berlinger's Market.
Do they make a good fucking true crime documentary?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like the first episode is all about the satanic shit, and then as it goes on, you start to realize it was more of a case of satanic panic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But overall, it's good, man. Like I don't know. It's not nearly as good as Paradise Lost, I don't think. But I think it blows away the Ted Bundy tapes.
What's that called?
It's called Fall River.
Dog.
Yeah. I just got Epix back like a week ago. I started watching that. When that's over, I'm going to watch our girl Saint Maud on there.
I enjoyed that movie. Yeah.
I know. And I knew when I lost Epix a couple months ago, like it was just coming on. I think like when I lost it, it had been on like a week, and like I was like, oh, this, I kind of want to watch this, whatever. But I didn't get around to it, and then you told me about it. I was like, oh shit, I just lost Epix. But
yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime too.
Oh really?
I think so, yeah.
I know it's made by A24.
Mm-hmm.
A24.
Amazon Prime tends to get their movies the earliest.
They must have a deal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our boy Berlinger, and I also kind of got like back way access because like I subscribed to, I bought like well, didn't buy, but I subscribed to like a movie pack through my satellite provider, and it like give you access to the apps too. So I've been watching the Epix app, and I got access to the Stars app through that too. And once I finish Fall River 2, I'm going to watch our boy Berlinger, his new thing, Confronting a Serial Killer on Stars.
Yeah, I saw he had another one. Fucking these, and they're doing it over Skype.
Yeah, he's our boy Berlinger, man. He don't rest. If there's a crime or satanic link to something or just a serial killer, he will produce content on it, feature films, documentaries, and he go. He's not like these guys like, oh, I signed a Netflix deal. Let me do 40 things in a row for Netflix. He's jumping around, baby. He's got his. If there's that's why I'm shocked he had nothing to do with Fall River, because like. Usually, if there's something to do about a crime case, our boy Joe Berlinger is involved in it heavily.
Mm-hmm. The Chad. He's the Chad.
He is the Chad. He is. Got to watch all the Berlinger stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's it. I think if people want to hear something good, they should be listening to the Mac and Zach Save the World. I actually helped Mac and Zach Save the World, didn't I?
You did. Fucking, we are like fucking Mac. He was flying around, fucking holding he was fucking Supermaning around, fucking holding the entire world, and fucking he almost dropped it. And our boy came and saved the fucking day. Fucking picked it up right before it hit that fucking that big fucking concrete slab in the sky and just crashed into a biggity bam 1,000 pieces. Fucking saved it every inch of it, baby.
It did. That episode will be out, I'm sure, by the time this comes out. So, yeah, it was, like you get to hear me drop in for half a commentary.
Fucking, you were basically you left in the last 14 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it was coming down the home stretch. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 3/4. Talking about we did one for our boy Tom Atkins for Night of the Creeps.
Exactly. The Creeps came and they saw and they kicked butt. They did the Night of the Creeps. And it is coming out soon, baby.
When they filmed that movie, because everybody knows that Tom Atkins has a very strong sexual presence. That was established very firmly in the very romantic film Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. Do you think he was, hooking up with all the sorority girls that they had in the movie?
Fucking me and Mac, we were on the set, and yes. Fucking that we wrote that into his contract. He had to have sex with every woman in the movie.
Exactly. And then for BTM, I haven't heard it yet. I saw the poster and I was blown away by the artwork. But BTM, you guys, you uncovered the commentary for Chairman of the Board too, man.
Chairman of the board too, aka Street Fighter movie. Fucking because we got our boy Carrot Top plays the fucking green guy that gets hit with all the chemicals and his hair turns orange and fucking basically I made some throwaway joke about Chairman of the board and that became the thumbnail and now everybody who's clicking on it is like, what the fuck is Chairman of the board? What is Street Fighter? What the
Chairman of the board too.
Exactly, completely confusing.
Is that why Carrot Top is so jacked now? He had to get in shape for that movie, and he just never lost the muscles.
Exactly. He was into the role that deep. Fucking some people get fat for the role. Fucking Jared Leto did that. Fucking our boy Carrot Top, he did it.
Talk about being based and compelled.
He sat in a fucking room and watched nothing but horrible atrocities being committed, and it pumped him up like that, turned his skin green.
Amazing. So there's plenty out there for you guys to listen to get you through the summer. As always, guys, I want to thank you. And one last thing. I should have said this earlier. I don't know if people hang in till the very end on these things, but I just want to say one thing to our listeners, baby. Is how we do that YouTube repost? It's just like an automatic thing. Mm-hmm. The show will eventually end up on YouTube. That's usually where I get the comments and I interact with the listeners. Very Chad listeners we have. If you guys ever post a comment and I don't reply, it's probably because it didn't fully post. Like if I ever see a comment from you guys, I always at least like it. And 99.9% of the time, I do some kind of reply. If I don't reply, there's like this weird middle board with YouTube where I see comments that you guys made, but YouTube removed them. So
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, Zach. So
YouTube that does this thing, sometimes they'll nix fucking comments just because one word or phrase triggered the algorithm thing, and they'll just get rid of them for some reason. And sometimes they go to like a separate page where they're held for review.
Are they?
And you gotta find that sometimes. It's weird.
I gotta find that somehow. Because I saw one of them was so tame. A guy said humping, and they were like, "Oh, take that off." So it's so I can kind of read it. If it's a really long comment, like the little thing on the app won't let me read it, but I can usually read what you guys say. I just, because it doesn't fully post to the page, I can't respond or like it or anything. So if there's ever a comment I don't respond to, guys, or if it's just a situation, maybe YouTube doesn't notify me that you guys commented, but I do check that on a regular basis a few times a week, and I really like interacting with you guys. So you can always leave like iTunes comments, reviews, stuff there. But if you want to go to the movie graveyard on YouTube, you can leave comments on each episode there, and we can have a cool dialogue there.
That really is the most the fucking that's what you need for like any kind of podcast service, like a way to comment on each episode. The only other place that does that, the way I'm thinking, like SoundCloud does that, where you can you can even tag a certain spot of the recording and leave a comment. That's nice, but not very. It doesn't come standard in a lot of these podcast services for some reason.
No, like Podbean, it will let me know if you guys follow me or something, but there's really no way to say anything. So, But yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys are having a good summer. Hopefully this summer is better than last summer, but we appreciate all the support no matter what's going on, especially since I want to say last January or February, boom, you guys have been hitting this show hard, and every time you download, I see it, so I appreciate that very much. It's very nice to have very Chad listeners, ain't it, Zach?
It is, baby.
And Stacy listeners. We got Stacy listeners, too.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate them, too. Yeah. We're not we're not simps, though, so we don't prioritize the Stacys over the Chads. We just like all the Chads and Stacys equally.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you so much as always, and we'll see you again here real soon in the movie graveyard.
Dog.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.